and it's operated continuously. The state of Washington maintains and runs this ferry today, not privately held anymore, and it's free. It's a beautiful ride, and if you haven't seen it, you should come and enjoy it. The Keller Ferry truly is one of my favorite places.
We just went through a very difficult legislative session. We had to make difficult choices to balance our budget. We're going to face...
My name is Brad Hannig, H-A-N-N-I-G. I am the fire chief for Longview Fire Department. Before providing my updates today, I want to again acknowledge the tremendous impact this incident continues to have on victims, families, co-workers, responders, and the broader community. For a victim update, we can confirm that 6 of the 9 individuals have been recovered, and we continue working with the coroner to notify families. Recovery efforts continue. The priority is ensuring responder safety while treating every victim with the greatest dignity, care, and respect possible. As individuals are recovered from the site, they undergo decontamination before being transported to the Cowlitz County Coroner's Office for identification and family notification. We are incredibly humbled by the outpouring of support from the community for our first responders and the affected families. We know many people want to help and are looking for ways to contribute. Our team is currently working to coordinate verified donation and support channels, and we will share that information with the community as soon as it becomes available. This continues to be an active and hazardous recovery environment. I want to make that clear that we are working diligently, and crews have from the beginning, to have the best outcome, to save as many as they possibly could and recover all of the victims as soon as possible. I'll turn things over to Battalion Chief Matt Amos from the Longview Fire Department, who has been over our operation. Matt?
Thank you, Chief. Thank you for being here. My name's Matt Amos, M-A-T-T-A-M-O-S. I'm the Battalion Chief from Longview Fire Department. I've been somewhat with boots on the ground in the operation. And as an operational update, we still have numerous local, regional, state, and federal agencies continuing to work together alongside all the facility personnel. We're maintaining minimal activity around the tank. It still remains the same condition as yesterday after we flew the area with drones and did visual inspections with our engineer partners here on site. We continue to use an exclusion zone around that tank. We're actively working outside that area for recovery of our victims. We don't anticipate the tank to be a risk at this time for where we're working or for future spills. For us, this continues to be incredibly difficult for all of us here and also everyone involved. We appreciate the professionalism of all of our responders that are working this operation and the patience that that's been shown by the community. I'm going to hand this over to Brooke Stanfield. He's our Emergency Protection Agency Coordinator.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Brooks Stanfield, B-R-O-O-K-S-S-T-A-N-F-I-E-L-D. I'm a federal on-scene coordinator with the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. In addition to the really, really critical, complicated work of recovering the workers of this facility safely. This incident command is also focused on protecting human health and the environment. I have the privilege to represent the United States Environmental Protection Agency and work alongside of our partners at the Washington Department of Ecology, members of the Cowlitz Indian Tribe, the Yakama Nation, and several other state, federal, and local agencies, including the Coast Guard, the City of Longview, the Cowlitz Dike Improvement District, just to name a few. We're all working very hard to ensure that the health and environment of this community is protected as we manage this delicate operation here on the plant facility. So I'm going to talk about how we're doing this in a couple of ways, two to three main focus areas of this work. So first of all, I'll start with the easy part, which is air quality. We got here on Tuesday. EPA arrived and immediately began deploying air monitors to make sure that the air, both on-site and migrating off-site, was safe for the community to breathe. The main contaminant we were concerned with was hydrogen sulfide, knowing what we know about this facility and the contaminants involved. I can report to you we've been monitoring 24 hours a day since we arrived here, and not only have we not seen any exceedances of health criteria, we have not actually had a detection of hydrogen sulfide or any of the other air contaminants we might have encountered. So that's really good news, but we will continue on with that air monitoring operation for the foreseeable future. The other main human health and environmental issue that we are managing and dedicating a lot of resources toward is the result of the discharge of high pH caustic liquid from the facility through the storm drain and into the ditch on the north side of Industrial Way here, just across the street. So obviously there was a large amount of volume that was released from the tanks in addition to fire water. That entered into a storm drain. It ended up discharging into this industrial ditch, or the ditch on the north side of Industrial Way. That ditch is connected to a dike network that moves throughout the entire community of Longview. It literally runs through people's backyards. People have access to it. Dogs can swim in it. It's obviously something where there is a risk for people to come in contact with that liquid if we don't prevent them from doing so. So in the initial days, we saw elevated pH levels. That would have been Tuesday. We saw elevated pH levels in the ditch, mostly localized to the outfall near the facility, but over time we saw that pH migrating through the system. One major concern we have with this, besides the immediate health or safety of residents, is that this ditch sits on top of a sole source aquifer and a well field where the city of Longview gets its primary drinking water source from. So in consultation with the utilities here, we've been developing a plan to flush that high pH liquid away from that well field over the last couple of days. We began those operations yesterday. That strategy involves two main parts, which one is drawing fresh water from the Cowlitz River on the east side of this network and pushing the water west by diluting and flooding that and flushing that water to the west. At the same time, we are opening up two discharge pumps that discharge water to the Columbia River on the west side of this network. They are pulling that water to the west and discharging water to the Columbia River. Of course, so this is primarily an effort to get that water away from the drinking water wells. My colleague here, Chris Collins from the city of Longview, can speak to the cleanliness of the water and the safety of the water to drink. He's going to tell you that it is indeed safe to drink, and they're monitoring it very diligently, but it's something that we don't want to risk. So we're taking this threat seriously and pushing this water to the west. As we push it to the west, we are also monitoring the pH of that water to make sure that any water that does get discharged to the Columbia River is in compliance with basically neutral water standards. We're trying to get as below a pH of 9 to get it to a normal pH that we would see in this system. Right now, the last report we got was at the 2 discharge points, one was discharging water of a pH of 7, and the other was water at a pH of 8.5. We're going to continue monitoring that. If we hit a pH of 9, we have some additional strategies we can employ to bring that pH down. I think the only other thing I want to say is that the ditches, we are monitoring those. There are still areas with elevated pH in the water there, and we are continuing to tell people to stay away and stay out of those ditches and dikes. And the last thing is that if people want more information, the Washington Department of Ecology has set up an incident website where you can get regular updates. The easiest way to locate that website is by going to Washington Department of Ecology's Facebook page. So with that, I'll hand the microphone over to Chris Collins with City of Longview.
Thank you, Brooks. Hi, my name is Chris Collins, CHRISCOLLINS. I'm the Public Works Director and the Assistant City Manager for the City of Longview. First thing I want to make sure to state is Longview's water is safe. There is no cause for concerns. As Brooke mentions, we were successfully able to divert all of the contaminated water away from our wellhead protection area, which is our point of concern or a point of potential concern. However, even then, it's not a concern today because our wellhead our wells are drawn from an aquifer that is approximately 200 feet deep, that is charged by the Columbia River, not necessarily charged by surface waters. So our well is very protected from any sort of surface environmental concerns. That said, the water that you were drinking before this incident is the same water you're drinking today. Our plant is extremely complex, but is extremely safe, and there are built-in redundancies that the plant will shut down way before any contaminants would enter into the public drinking water system. So we've also, in addition to the efforts that Brooks mentioned with the flushing and the moving of the water, we are also opening a lot of fire hydrants. So the community may see us flushing water into the street that drains into the sloughs. That is a secondary method that we are utilizing to add water to the sloughs, both for dilution as well as to move the water in the direction, the contaminated water in the direction that we want it to move. As we do this, and as the water is moving throughout the system, you may smell some odors coming from that material because it is, as it mixes with lower pH water, it will off-gas. We, as the Environmental Protection Agency, does have monitors throughout the city to detect for any potential hazards, and there has been no threats or no concerns at this time. With that, I will hand it over to Anna, who will take any questions.
Good afternoon. I'm Anna Eisenman, PIO for this incident with the Department of Ecology. I'm going to facilitate the Q&A. We have about 20 minutes for questions. I'm going to move left to right. If you could just say your name and the outlet that you are with. Yes.
Tanvi Vermont KT News. My colleague and I went across the facility to the Columbia River and we smelled a very strong stench. Is it safe for people to get into the Columbia River? How far has the white liquor gotten? And what are the impacts on the ecosystem, short and long term, even though water is being flushed and diluted?
I'm going to hand this one off to to Brooks here with the EPA.
Yeah, thanks for the question. I'll see if I can remember. There are several parts to it. For one, it's our understanding that there was a little bit of white liquor that reached the Columbia River in the first minutes of the response, but that outfall where that white liquor escaped was immediately shut off. So our understanding, and we don't know the exact volume that was released, but our understanding was it was very limited in the initial hour of the incident. It is safe to swim and fish in the Columbia River right now. There are no warnings or advisories at this time. So, did I get all of your questions?
What are the short-term and long-term impacts of the contamination that's already occurred in the slough water and wherever else?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to tell when you're really just focused on containment first and protecting people. But we understand the short-term impacts when you're talking about a caustic liquid, a liquid with high pH, is that it's going to be deadly with fish. And we have observed that there are some dead fish in the ditch network. We're seeing that, and we expect to see more of it. Long term, we're evaluating that right now with some of our fish and wildlife agencies to see what that might be. I think we believe that our primary focus is the impact of pH, and pH tends to be a short-term acute impact. But we may not know everything. We're still looking at a couple of things that might have longer term impacts, but we don't know all the answers at this time.
Quick follow-up. What's the baseline pH for the Columbia?
What is the baseline pH for the Columbia? It's about 7? It's about 7. Thank you. I thought it was 7.
Yes, please.
John Capel, ABC News. You've talked about recovering 6 bodies. What's the process, the difficulties, and the likelihood of recovering the other 3?
Thank you. I'm going to turn that over to my
So could you repeat the question one more time?
So
It was the...
John Capel, ABC News. You've talked about recovering 6 bodies.
Yes.
What is the process, likelihood, and difficulties of recovering the other 3?
Right now, the difficulty, the scene is very complex. It still continues to be a highly complex industrial hazard. We are continuously locking out, tagging out, and isolating hazardous conditions for us as we make entries in and recover victims, and pre-planning for the next time that we make entries. It's very labor intensive and it takes a lot of personnel, and so we can only make entries into these areas so many times in a day, and it's very few. We are confident we're going to move forward. I feel we're making good advancements with being able to recover 6 so far, and after this press conference we'll continue our recovery efforts for the rest of our operational period.
Is there any likelihood you won't be able to recover?
I'm not sure that I could answer that. We are slowly working our way into this scene from the way we've described it in the earlier as sort of a blast site or a site or some catastrophic event has happened. So we're slowly making our way through that as it's safe for responders to get further into the scene.
Julia Lopez with Fox 12, and this might be for you again.
Yeah.
But what has communication been like for those families of those who are still missing or unrecovered? We've heard from some that are navigating a lot of misinformation.
So earlier today, I know that they've been meeting with the families on a regular basis at the AEW PPW hall to update them as soon as possible, to give them the notifications. I know the coroner's office is working diligent in trying to make sure that they get the information as soon as possible. So I think that communication has been pretty effective for the families. We're working, we always can do better with communication. We're working diligently to ensure that every message we give is accurate and timely and appropriate, and they're notified first. That's the objective.
Kevin Haskins with KGW News for you again as well, and it's maybe sound redundant, but with recovery of 6, 2 said confirmed fatalities yesterday. Total numbers is 8, right, of confirmed fatalities. Just want to make sure we have the correct number.
I believe that's accurate, yes.
Okay. Do you have visuals on the other 3, or are they outside of your view because of the limited scope you're able to see?
I'll speak to that.
Yeah, in reference to the remaining 3 that we're trying to find, they're just outside of our, as far as we've made entry for today, and what our scope is for that time being to that 2 o'clock hour when we left that, when I left that scenario. So our crews are rehabbing right now. They have to decontaminate every time that they leave that area. because of the hazards that are still there, and then they should be rested and ready for me when we go back, and then we will explore further in to the scene.
Later tonight?
As soon as we're done here.
Relatedly, Aaron West with the New York Times. I was wondering, are you able to access the site, and that's why you're not able to like recover the missing identities, or is it because they've they've been like, is it the toxicity of the site itself?
It's the industrial hazards. We run into electrical hazards, hazardous materials. We have collapse. We talked about the tank and a zone we've created outside of that we feel comfortable working in, so we don't get injured from if there was some other sort of failure. And so we work with subject matter experts, the engineers, for example, to determine buildings are safe that have damage to them for us to access. So we have to go in, videotape, look at those, give those to engineers to say it's safe for us to go inside of those, or just the hazmat in general. It's already complex to begin with, and when you put a toxic chemical involved, it makes it even more difficult for us.
Gotcha. And I'm also curious, is the plant operation still, what is the status of the actual employees of the plant? Are they still being paid?
I don't know that I'm going to get into that, but I will say that on an industrial site, oh, I'm sorry, Greg, does somebody want to speak to that? Brian?
Again, Brian Wood, Director of Support Services, Nippon Dynawave. I think I heard the question, but could you repeat it, please?
Sure. I was wondering what the status of the plant operations are as they are currently, and if workers are still there and being paid, or if it's completely shut down, and kind of what that looks like.
So after the event, we orderly shut down the pulp mill, and did that in a way that allows it to be safely shut down. We are currently operating some critical infrastructure, including the effluent treatment system, with a minimum staffing. We've made arrangements to pay people who are not working today because of this incident, and will continue to do so, and make further decisions as we go forward. But right now, critical infrastructure, specifically the effluent treatment system, is working and is being staffed.
And one more related question, I'm sorry. Is there a family assistance center set up, or like mental health resources being provided for the employees who...
I know we have worked closely with AWPPW to provide an assistance and reunification center. We have family assistance available as a routine part of our efforts and our work here on the site.
If I may follow up on that, we've been getting calls and emails from people saying public safety has been an issue at this plant. Is that a fair assessment?
We work in a highly hazardous atmosphere and a highly hazardous industry. We approach it with the utmost care in everything that we do. I'll let the facts speak for themselves.
Thank you. We're down to our last couple minutes, and I want to make sure that we have some local media have a chance here. If we could jump over to this side, please.
Thanks, Matt, with the Daily News. Where exactly were the 6 bodies found?
Yeah. I mean, the question was where exactly were the 6 bodies found, and the 6 bodies were found in the workers' area. As we talked before, this was at a shift change. And so it was an area for where they would congregate in the mornings before they would go, where they would assemble, find out their assignments, and go to their workplace. And so that's where they are.
Dan Griffin with Fox 13 in Seattle. Curious if you can give us some insights into how many people are on well water here, for one, and then what you would say to people who live along the city's network there, where that water, you said there was some elevated pH levels, who may be concerned that this was even anywhere near their house in the first place.
Thank you. I'm going to have...
Yes, thank you. So the city's regional water treatment plant services approximately 65,000 people, including residents of the city of Longview, neighboring jurisdiction, which is Beacon Hill Water Sewer District, and some unincorporated Cowlitz County residents that are on the city of Longview's water system. So the ditches, as Brooke stated earlier, literally run through people's backyards in some cases. So I don't know the exact number of households that are adjacent to those ditches, but it is a fairly large number.
And so what would you say to people who live in those homes who have had this come through?
Keep away from the water. Don't let your pets swim in it until we give the go-ahead, which we hope to do soon. And you may smell some odors that smell like rotten eggs, which is off-gassing or a potential off-gassing of the material.
But were they notified that this was even behind or near their homes?
As much as we can through all of the media outlets, through the incident command, yes.
If someone accidentally falls into one of these creeks, what should they do?
Wash off as quick as possible. Yep.
There's no risk of them getting chemical burns or something?
I would wash off and then seek medical attention just to be safe.
Question for you, Andy Judson, King 5. This is going to be probably for the EPA. We found that this facility had previous violations from including your agency. Is that something that you're taking into consideration as you address all this or investigate this incident?
The EPA has several different programs that interface with this facility, and there is a program that mostly focuses on the tanks containing chlorine gas and the way that they safely manage those. We did talk with the inspectors from that program as we mobilized down here to both understand where they were in proximity with this operation to make sure that they weren't involved or there weren't any safety issues associated with that. But I didn't really go into past inspections, safety violations, or anything because it really didn't have anything to do with this response. Our focus really right now is mitigating the hazards. And so I really can't speak any further to past inspections, but there will be some follow-up investigations by other programs in my agency and other agencies.
On mitigating the hazards, why is dilution the best strategy? Are there other ways to contain the white liquor?
Well, containment is the first best strategy, and we are doing that on the site to make sure that no additional white liquor makes it off the site into the ditch. So you're right. Containment is the best strategy first, and we're doing that. But now we know that we already have white liquor in the ditches, right? So what are our options there? And they're really flushing, diluting, and if we start to see sustained pH levels above the levels we want, we can do some neutralization using some basic acids to bring that pH down in a safe way.
Has there been any headway to investigating what caused this or any leading theories?
No, and that's not my role as an EPA emergency responder. We do have members of the Chemical Safety Board on site, as well as the Washington Department of Labor and Industries, and they are the ones that are getting ready and already beginning an investigation and getting ready for when the interior part of this plant is safe for them to enter and begin their investigation.
Thank you. We have time for one or two more questions.
Should we be expecting more updates in the coming days? Are you going to do this again tomorrow, hold another press conference, or what's the plan?
Yes, the current plan, we will be releasing an additional press release tonight around 5:30. There will also be another press conference tomorrow. The time of that will be determined at a later time, but we'll send a media alert out when that's scheduled.
What's the status of the people who are hospitalized? Have any of their status changed?
This will be our last question.
Unless somebody else knows the other information. No, I'm sorry. Just from our, the question was if there was any update on the individuals that were hospitalized, and I don't have any further updates that have been given to me today, as if any of those have been discharged.
You said you were going back to work tonight. Karen with NBC News, you said you were going back to work tonight. How late are you planning to work?
Because of the industrial hazards here, the question was how long we're going to work tonight. We are doing daytime operations, so roughly 8 o'clock, 7 to 8 o'clock is our daytime operation, 7 to 7 or 8 to 8, and will mainly probably depend on responders' health. They've already been into the scene 3 to 4 times each today, and so we'll go one more work cycle with them, and we monitor their vitals and everything, and it will probably determine on what their status is.
Is it the same team going in every time?
We have a group of individuals who rotate, and we cycle. But not only we send people in, we have to have people out to rescue them as well. So we need double the numbers besides just the individuals going in.
Is that water still waist deep? Does it have a mixture of this hazardous material still in it, or chest deep even?
Last question. We have a configuration of multiple volumes. We have what's contained on the site. We have what would be in different rooms in buildings, or what's in mud puddles in the parking lot. So everything that that you could just think of in nature. So.
All right, that concludes today's press conference. Thank you again, everyone, for being here. We will have another press release out at 5:30, and I will send an alert when we have tomorrow's press conference scheduled. In the meantime, please continue to send your questions to our JIC email. That's jic@ecY.wa.gov. We're working through those as quickly as we can. Thank you.